Hi, I'm Anna Olsen here on Insights into Consciousness on I10 Radio Network. And today I am going to do something different than I've ever done before. And I just decided to do today on a whim, pretty much just by whatever spirit wanted me to do. And the first thing that I got when I was waiting to go on the air was that I will do random readings for viewers. And I will give a description of the person listening and who the reading is for, and then do the reading on the air live. And then, if you know that this is you and you fit the description, I would like for you to contact me and let me know it was for you and that it fit the bill for you in your life and your situation. So, the ways that you can contact me is on AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com. That's at the bottom of the screen. And if you're a listener on the radio station, you can go to AnnaOlsenintuitive, AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com. And there's a contact page there. You can also reach me on Facebook at Anna Olsen Intuitive, but I would rather you please try the website or even Instagram first. So Facebook Messenger doesn't work fantastic for me, but you can always go to Instagram at, you do the @ sign and you search for Tiny Medium Queendom. So that's Tiny Medium Queendom. And you look for it at first with that @ sign. It's a little easier because it'll go straight to a person, to me. And you can message me there as well. So that said, the first reading that I'm going to get here, that I'm getting here, I it's very interesting to be a reader because I have two spirit guides at the same time asking me to pick if I want to do it for the blonde woman or the man. And I'm going to do this for the blonde woman first because that was who came up first. So the first thing I'm getting is a blonde woman. She's 56 years old. She has light eyes and loves to wear pink lipstick. She is probably in like banking or something financial. She has a job either working for a company by dealing with their financials, or she is a bank employee or has worked for a bank and kind of situated at home with an at-home job there, and is a very good financial advisor for her friends. So I'm getting an L name, could be Lydia, Linda, Luann, definitely an L name, Laureen, Laura, and it could be your middle name and it could be a name attached to you. So it could be just that your grandmother, your whatever. So it isn't always limited to you specifically with the name for me. In addition, blue-green car, kind of looks like a turquoise color, kind of like a sedan. You drive that car. There's also something about you loving to garden and that you at least love strolling through gardens. And that's one of your favorite things to do, is to walk through gardens. But you would love to have your own garden, and you have started working on it, but it's a project yet to be finished. So I hope that this will pinpoint the person. I have no idea who this is. I am just going by what spirit tells me. So the first thing that I'm getting for you, for this person, is the 8 of Swords. I'm going to hold it up for the screen for the viewers who can see, from Moonstruck TV. And basically this is a woman. She's blindfolded and she's wearing a long flowing gown. She is surrounded by swords in the ground around her, and her hands are tied behind her back. She's bound, she's blindfolded, and she has these 8 swords around her that are basically forming kind of like a prison. And this is depicting, the way that I'm seeing this, I'm going to hold it up again for viewers. The way that I'm seeing this is that this is your prison of things that you have to do. You have too many things on your plate at once. You are bound in a way of growing spiritually, intellectually, and emotionally because of all these things that you are taking on. Spirit wants you to know that you can pluck these swords out of the ground one by one and release these responsibilities that you have taken on. And Spirit wants you to know and to remind you that you do not have to do anything, and that no is a complete sentence when you have too many things on your plate. You have children right now who are having difficulties, especially with the pandemic and with their jobs. It is time for you to start saying no to the people that you don't want to disappoint who have been taking advantage of you because they don't want to do their full job. This includes at work and in your personal life. And I'm also seeing a strong tie to a volunteer organization, such as a church or other volunteer work. You can only stretch yourself so thin before your health will start to deteriorate. You should not be stretching yourself so thin, emotionally, mentally, and physically, that you are beginning to have pain in your body. Headaches are the first indicator. That is not just hormones. That is stress, and your nervous system is screaming for help. This is this message from spirit. So I just tell you what I see, hear, and feel. The message from spirit is that you will get significant health issues in the future. And I hate to see the C word here, but that is a possibility if things don't start to lighten up. You need to reduce sugar in your diet and decrease the stress in your life. And I think that it's very important that you take this very seriously and that you don't just shrug it off and say, well, there's not much I can do because I already committed. That is not an option at this point. And your children and your grandchildren need you. And you're going to end up not being able to take care of them anyway if you do not take care of yourself at this time and begin saying no and limiting what you're doing and the amount that you are putting on your plate. You are not 20 years old anymore. And even if you were, this would be way too much. That's what Spirit said. It's not me, it's spirits. Don't look at me. There's the Nine of Cups here, which is just saying that your options are running thinner because you have been overdoing it for so long. There's only so much that you can realistically do, and you need to stop skipping yourself. You're going to have to start picking and choosing between what you actually can and cannot do. Having whatever it is that you've been kind of medicating with is not going to solve the problem. I mean, some people medicate with alcohol, some people medicate with, food, and it doesn't matter what it is. The point is that your pickings are thin at this point until you can recover from many years of overdoing it. Gosh, this sounds like a typical American woman's story to me, but this is targeted at one person, one viewer, one listener. Now I have the Knight of Cups here, and this is the next card I'm pulling for you. This is a man who would depict your son, and he has been watching you and warning you about this for some time. Now, I think that you looked at it as playful, which is fine because that really is just about your relationship with your son. However, I think that it's time to really pay attention and heed to the words of your son. He is intuitive. He is a very good observer. He likes to observe, and he's good at picking up on people's cues. I just saw a monarch butterfly go past my window, by the way. That is definitely a sign from spirit. When I see a butterfly and I'm doing a reading, or other animals, I will tell you what it is. So this is depiction of joy is coming. So I see a vacation for you. I see travel. I see a lot of fun things coming up if you can just regain your energy and think about what your son has been telling you for years. What has he been saying to you that could be potentially helpful for you with self-care, with recovery, with not overdoing it? And heed his warnings and know that when you say no to these other people, their next options will actually be better for them. So you're not letting anybody down. It may be uncomfortable for them initially for a little while, but once they become more acclimated to the new thing that they will be doing, they're going to be better off than when they needed you for that, because you were stretched so thin with all of these things you were doing that you weren't really giving it your all anyway, and it was becoming problematic. So that's important. That's an important part of your reading. Okay, so that reading is now closing out. So thank you so much for watching and listening. I am going to go on now to the male. His spirit guide was coming through previously, and this is interesting because I feel like this is a man who has been watching my show or listening pretty regularly, and now he gets a reading that he was considering for some time and didn't get because he just wasn't sure. He just didn't follow through with the process. So I'm happy to do the reading for you, and I'm excited to do the reading for you. You are, first of all, getting the number 7, and it's the Chariot. So this is the Chariot. I'm going to hold it up for the viewers, and I'm going to describe it for the listeners who are not seeing it on the Moonstruck TV screen. So this is the Chariot. There are 2 horses, and they are being driven by a man in a chariot in back, and he's above the clouds. There's the moon in the background. There's just a sliver of a moon. I think that depicts this new moon coming up. I'm sorry, I don't know if it's waxing or waning. I haven't had time to pay attention. But he is really, really strong-willed, and he's on his way to do a lot of work. So I want you to know that even though you are really pressed to the hilt with all of your work and your physical activity that you have to do, and some health issues like some pain, I'm seeing a lot of stress, I'm seeing relationship issues with your significant other, with your children. There are a lot of drama. I'm seeing a lot of maybe health issues or teen stuff or something going on there with the children, which is very common. Spirit wants you to know that these are all things that normal people go through, that you are not abnormal, that this is not an unheard of instance with, all these different things that are going on with you. This is like typical life. You are normal. You are okay. You are not scarred or skewed in any way where you are not going to succeed in this. This burden will get lighter. Spirit wants you to know that you are doing a fantastic job. And instead of telling yourself what you're not doing right, Spirit would like you and your guides would like you to please start pointing out what you're doing correctly. Spirit wants you to know that you've come a long way, that you are very, very driven, and that your spirit will never die. Your will to succeed will never expire, that will go on forever. And that's what you go on now. Don't forget that that's basically what keeps you going, and that's what will continue to keep you going. So I'm even seeing that in the afterlife. So just remember, you don't stop at the end of your life. You're going to keep going there too. So Spirit wants you to know that. I'm getting the 2 of Cups for you as well. I'm going to hold that up for the viewers and describe it to the people who are listening. There's a couple there. They're both holding goblets. There's a lot of light coming from the goblets as they kind of put their goblets together. It's kind of like a cheer. They're kind of tapping their glasses together. They're doing a hand tying ceremony. And this is Spirit wanting you to know that you do have a future relationship. It seems as though maybe there's something going on with the significant other where things may be coming to an end, and you may be foreseeing that right now. And that's part of this immense stress that you've been dealing with. But Spirit wants you to know that you will be in a relationship long-term that will be close, real, and loving, and that this relationship has definitely run its course. Now, I don't want you to, run off and break up with the person you're with. That's not why I'm here. I don't make your decisions for you. All I do is let you know what Spirit says. This could also be the person that you are with. So try not to worry too much about, me saying that, oh, you're not going to be with this person. That's not what I'm saying at all. I am saying that this person that you're going to be with is going to be more of a spiritual connection. So if you see there's a hand fasting here where there's a rope around their hands, they are making a promise. It's less legal in nature, and it's more loving, soul-tied connection where you 2 understand each other. This could be a breakthrough in your long-term relationship. I do not see marriage for you, so don't worry. You will find this connection to be loving and just and close and everything that you really need without having to worry about any legalities ever again. And I do feel there's an inheritance involved here. So whatever the inheritance has, any significance, and really this is just pointing to the fact you're going to be okay. You are going to be with this person for the remainder of your life, and that it will be a nice, close, beautiful connection. So Spirit is now asking me about the Hawaiian Samoan. It feels like Pacific Islander influence. So this could be that you took a trip there, or you may have some genetic ties to the ancestors in this area of the world. It could be that you maybe were raised around a lot of people from, this area. It could be that you lived there for a period of time, but I'm definitely feeling that Hawaiian, Polynesian influence. I'm seeing a lot of beauty, and it feels beautiful. There's like the rainbows in the sky, and there's the island and the blue water and the sun. And I've never been there, but I'm feeling like I'm there in my electromagnetic field. And so spirit is pointing to that. And now I'm asking why spirit's pointing to that. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so this is what's coming up. The Four of Swords. This feels like your significant other. It could be the person that you're with now. I feel that there is a Polynesian vibe to her. Like she is a fighter, she's a warrior. She's somebody who is just, I mean, she won't back down. She's great. She has a really good energy of like warrior spirit. She will do almost anything for her children. She's absolutely incredible. And you're dealing with somebody who was raised a warrior. So be sure to know that this person, this woman, either current, I feel like it's more current, she's just raised warrior style. So she doesn't really need anybody specifically. She's very independent, and she's a great protector for your children. So you have all these really great things with her that you can utilize for your whole family. I mean, even if you decide to move on, she is, first of all, going to be a force to be reckoned with. So time that correctly. She will not back down to the death. I mean, that's really how I feel. The card for listeners looks like this Four of Swords is a woman with swords in her hand. She has them lined up against the wall and a dagger in the other hand. She's definitely ready for battle. She's wearing a long yellow flowing gown with purple accents and a purple waist sash around the dress. Colors are very significant when we do readings. Details are pretty significant. She looks like she's by a castle wall with ivy or some sort of a vine type plant cascading down that wall. This could have ties back to Celtic or Scottish, is what I'm getting. And so we're kind of dealing with Polynesian meets European. Could be the two backgrounds that she has culturally from her background. She could have one parent Polynesian and one parent European. It could be that you are European and she is Polynesian, but there is an influence here where you are dealing with a true warrior who won't back down, and to know that you need to time this correctly and really count your steps, cross your T's, dot your I's, make sure that you are doing this in a way that you can definitely um, go through with plans according to you're dealing with a warrior, and you need to tiptoe. That's basically the message from spirit. That said, you do need to be free and you do need to leave if you have to, because I'm feeling like there is a definitely like a world traveler feeling here. It feels like that's your work and it's not being well received, or maybe you will be taken somewhere else somehow, traveling either across states or countries or whatever, so that you can fulfill your mission, your job, I feel like this is business. It's more business. So this is the Two of Wands, and this depicts, I'm showing viewers, but it's a man who's looking out on the horizon. He's holding a globe or like the world in his hand. He has two wands side by side, and he's looking out on the horizon. There is a cat, a calico cat, right by him, which depicts animal guide, and it's depicting also a protection. If you think about if somebody has an animal guide and it's feline, a lot of the time that's depicting a puma that will protect, or a lioness that will protect you. So that's promising. There is also a ship out on the water sailing away. So it's interesting that the boat is sailing away and not toward him. I feel like the ship just dropped him off. So if that makes any sense for my viewer, the person who's getting the reading, it's almost like they dropped you off in a foreign place and you have some things to do there. So continue with your business, leave if you need to. Staying where your significant other is not going to be conducive to what you need at this time. It's going to hinder your income and the future relationship with your future female, your future woman. So keep that in mind. Now it's interesting because I have a feeling that one of my family members will be watching and that this reading will be for you, and it feels more like a cousin to me, which is really fun. I'm so excited. So spirit guide comes in. Oh my goodness, this is our grandmother coming in. My grandmother, your grandmother. This is for my cousin. Um, oh, look at. So here we have the Three of Cups. And I'm going to describe this to the people who are listening. There are three women who are sharing time in a garden together. They have goblets and they are discussing and bonding. They're discussing, facts of their lives. They're sharing with each other. And the Three of Cups is depicting the number three, which is also Trinity or the three goddesses, or however you want to look at that is fine. But three is a lucky number, and it's the number of revelation. So a lot of people say, oh, that's Father, Son, Holy Spirit, things like that. So when we are looking at this card, I do feel like this is Spirit telling you that you have more support from the females in your life than you realize. And this is for one of my cousins who's female, by the way. And you're going to be okay. You're going to have protection. You're going to have people who back you up no matter what. That you're going to be having a more stressful situation coming up here pretty soon. And that you are going to have so much support that you don't even have to worry, that you may have felt a little bit alone for different reasons, and that you will be just fine. The Star is the next card that I'm pulling for you, and it depicts a woman in a river pouring water amongst a beautiful, huge North Star, beautiful, with other stars surrounding that star, smaller but much, brighter than average stars. There's 6 of them around the large Northern Star. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, there's 7. So we have 7 beautiful, larger than life stars around a fantastic, beautiful, glowing star in the sky. This woman is out in her element at night in the river, dumping water into just kind of doing her thing. She's bathing, or she's cleaning, or she's just playing. It doesn't really matter. There's also what looks like a crane next to her. There's the bird. Message will be bringing you, Spirit will be bringing you messages from Spirit in the form of a bird. White birds, doves will also be the bird that you can be looking out for. This depicts you being fine by yourself independently. You don't need a lot of people, but you do have their support when you are feeling vulnerable and like you need some sort of support from your sisters and your friends. So this is important for you to know that you have a lot of people in your corner. You are going to be okay. You already know what's coming a little bit. You've been expecting it. It feels like there's going to be an uprooting or a change of your original plans. This has to do with a family member, and that their needs will change and you will have to adjust accordingly. So it could be that they have a health issue. It could be that there's something that's going to come up for you that way. So I'm definitely seeing here with these cards, there is a man here. This is the Four of Pentacles and the Empress. So we have the Four of Pentacles here. This man is basically just like holding on for dear life to his money, okay? He's got a big pentacle that he's holding on to, and he looks kind of disgruntled. He's in front of a front door, so he could be a block. So you want to get to the door and up the steps. I've never noticed the door and the steps on this card before till now, so that shows you how Spirit works. He is a boundary to where you need to go. You're going to have to be very strict in your boundaries with this person when this change of life comes about and happens. You are the Empress. You know how to deal with this. You are used to giving birth to new ideas and new things. You're going to be just fine. The Empress is depicting you on your throne. You've always got this. You've always had this. You always will. You're going to succeed, and you're going to be victorious is the basic message here. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. This will bring you some anxiety, and Spirit wants you to know that you're going to be okay and that you're going to succeed. Okay, so this is a freedom card. This is the Ace of Wands. So there's one wand, and that's basically showing and depicting someone who, there's a butterfly too. And of course, I just saw a butterfly before I pulled this card. This is how spirit works. There's a sunset and there's a wand up above the hill. Now I have a white butterfly. Okay, guys, lots of butterflies today. Spirit just confirms and confirms and confirms. I love it. I love doing this. I love you. I love this whole process. Anyway, so spirit is depicting that you are free. You are independent. You will always be okay by yourself or with others, but you are going to need others at this time. When this thing happens, when this event comes up, could be illness of your mother, could be a change of plans in her caretaking, could be a few things. I think it would also be a change in your job because of this, and a little bit of a change in your retirement plans. So I'm definitely getting our grandmother again. She's coming through. She's smiling, and she's giving me all these messages, by the way. So now we have just 2 minutes left, and I have the Justice card. This is a depiction. This is a woman on a throne, and she has, like a crown, and she has a sword in one hand and the scale of justice in the other hand. She is very, very just and very fair. She's wearing a long, flowing, beautiful gown, and there's a purple material behind her that's hanging. It's like a wall hanging behind her with flowers on either side. The type of flowers look similar to daisies, and she is really strict in her judgments and her decisions. So we want you to be strict and very, very just in your decisions. Be very fair in your decisions, and make sure you consider everyone's feelings, no matter how much empathy you think they do or do not deserve. Also, this woman, you are very, very good at being fair and just, and not feeling too bad to where you're letting people slide. So that's my time for today. Thank you so much for watching. I was able to get in 3 people today, and even my own cousin and grandma. That was unexpected, but I'm going to say I love you and goodbye to grandma. And she's sending the message of a red rose at this point to you as a farewell, and telling you that she loves you. That's my time for today, and I will see you next week. I'm here if you need me. AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com. Get a hold of me and we can work together. I also teach intuition and how to use yours. Have a great week. Thank you so much for watching.